to squash negative stories about him?
I said, you know, that is getting tired. Why do you keep hammering at this? And he said, you know why I do it?
Plus, Michelle Wolf is given her very first live interview since she roasted DC in the media at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
You guys are obsessed with Trump. Did you used to date him?
And a View exclusive. The Bachelor's most infamous couple, Arie and Lauren, are revealing their wedding plans for the very first time. Hump Day Hot Topics are in the house with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
The Navy's in the house.
That's where that was.
Thanks for coming. Oh, yeah.
Fleet Week.
Is it
Nice.
Fleet Week?
Yeah, it's Fleet Week, honey. Oh, yeah.
Right? Who doesn't like someone in
love
uniform?
A man or a woman in uniform. I love a uniform. I do.
Me too.
And you know what? Speaking of loving stuff, I've been listening to your dad's book, and I want to tell you, it's called The Restless Wave, and on the way to work, I almost burst into tears because I was listening to it. You know, I'm not able to read stuff the way I used to. But one passage that kind of got me, he was in Iraq with Lindsey Graham, and he said they went to celebrate some time with him, and there was going to be a ceremony, swearing-in ceremony for some of the soldiers who were not citizens, but they were there fighting, you know. And he said they got there, and two of the gentlemen that were going to get sworn in as U.S. citizens had been killed the day before. And this is what he said. He said, I wish every American who out of ignorance or worse curses immigrants as criminals or drain on our country's resources or a threat to our culture could have been there. I would like them to know that immigrants, many of them having entered the country illegally, are making sacrifices for Americans that many Americans would not make for them. I don't know why it hit me so hard, but it hit me very, very hard. Because I thought of all these folks who come to the country, you know, who know they're not Americans, but they join to fight for us anyway. And they're doing for us what we wouldn't do for them. It knocked me out.
I didn't know that you could enlist if you weren't a United States citizen.
It's a pathway to citizenship.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I think a lot of people don't realize that there are people that are fighting for our country that are not citizens.
Yeah.
And I did not put you up for this.
Oh, no.
I just want to say that.
You know,
thank you very much.
It's just, if you haven't gotten the book, it is really worth getting. You don't need to agree politically, but as an American and as a human being, I think this is a book everybody should read. I'm just saying. I'm a big fan of John McCain's. We don't agree politically on stuff, but he's a hell of a guy, I have to say.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, it turns out, yesterday seems to be the kickoff to the Year of the Woman now, because there were milestone wins, big political wins. Stacey Abrams became the first black woman in America to win a major party nomination for governor. I had no idea. In Texas, Lupe Valdez became the state's first Latina and first openly gay candidate nominated, and among there are all kinds of victories happening for women, I think, on both sides. It's kind of encouraging.
Yeah.
Well, it is. And I was saying during our Hot Topics meeting, I didn't know that there has never been an African-American woman as governor in this country of any state ever.
Shocking. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Ever. And this woman, I think, has a really good shot at it. You know, she's bringing people together. She has worked in municipal politics, and so she knows the state well. I'm always a little bit reluctant to endorse someone that doesn't have any political experience. And while she's a lawyer, she does also have this political experience. So she has a decent shot.
Well, I don't know what's more surprising to me when I saw that as a woman, hearing all these women that are representing, because we've always said our representation should look more like we do as a country. I was so excited for that. But then I thought, is it more shocking that the politics, these are Democrats, like, coming into these red states? And
well, that's what I wanted to say. Is when you're saying both sides, it's actually mostly Democratic. And the thing that I want to say to Republicans is, like, you know, in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. It's coming. We have to be aware of a shift. I'm Jon Snow right now with, like, the snow everywhere and the going, winter is coming. And I will say that Trump said yesterday, I'm shocked. I mean, I know I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm shocked by this. He said at the Susan B. Anthony List Gala yesterday, your vote in 2018 is every bit as important as your vote in 2016. Although I'm sure I really believe, I don't know if I believe that, but you know, who the hell wrote that line? Meaning if you voting in the midterms is not as important as voting in the general, that's insane and absolutely dangerous.
And insane for him, especially.
Exactly, if we lose that, but if we lose, it's bad for him if we lose the House and Senate. It's all bad all the way around. And to sort of go on television and be like, voting, no big deal. It's fine. It's crazy.
Well, in this particular case, it's crucial that people vote because the Republicans in Congress are allowing him to run amok with the country, and so you need to flip it. But in Georgia, the midterm voter turnout is under 30% for voters under 30. So those people need to get a fire under their butts and get out there.
I don't understand that either. That statistic always surprises me about the younger people not voting in higher numbers, just because, again, we are, no disrespect, completely strapped with all the crap from in every possible way. We have the least likely, chance of buying a home, of making the same amount of money our parents would. So, like, the millennial section not voting, absolutely flabbergasted.
Well, I think the overall statistic that less than 50% of Americans, when the votes were, are you staring at my top knot?
You had a poop on the top of your head. I'm sorry.
Usually I have to fight eyes this way. We're fighting eyes this way.
I'm so sorry.
The overall statistic that less than 50% of Americans vote at all, when the history of fighting for that vote was lives were lost, and that surprises me.
Maybe it should be like part of the law that you have to vote if you're of a certain
Australia
age.
does that. It's required by law.
I think that would work very well.
And I also think that, to your point about Republican women, Republican women have been out there. There are females in sitting in Congress and sitting in the Senate. I mean, so I feel like if we can balance it with a few more women would be nice. But it's not a surprise to me that there wasn't, that we haven't had a black female. I mean, look how long it took to get a black male governor.
Yeah, because Deval was Deval Patrick, but before Deval Patrick, there was another
in L.A.
It's even less for Asian Americans and East Asian Americans and Indian Americans. I mean, it's bad all the way around.
Come on, y'all, come on out. We're ready for you. It's time. Now's the time. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, the war at home. Parents sued their 30-year-old son who refused to move out of their place. How would the ladies clean house? When she roasted all of Washington, everyone was talking about her.
People were outraged by Michelle Wolf's material.
If a tree falls in the woods, how do we get Kellyanne under that tree?
So did she go too far?
She is there to come and push the envelope. That's what comedians do.
A lot of Republicans I know were really angry about this. I thought it was distasteful.
So now, what's Michelle Wolf have to say? Well, today, in her first live television interview since that dinner, you can be sure she won't hold anything back. Today on The View. Still ahead, Michelle Wolf's first live interview since emceeing the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And The Bachelor's most controversial couple, Arie and Lauren, reveal their wedding plans for the first time on TV.
Welcome back. So it is no secret that the guy in the White House has been at war with the media since he began campaigning, and journalist Leslie Stahl claims that after he won the nomination, he even said to her why he does it. Take a look.
It's just me and my boss and him. He has a huge office. And he's attacking the press. And there were no cameras, there was nothing going on. And I said, you know, that is getting tired. Why are you doing this? You're doing it over and over, and it's boring, and it's time to end that. You know, you've won the nomination. And why do you keep hammering at this? And he said, you know why I do it? I do it to discredit you all and demean you all, so when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you.
Right.
So,
he admits it.
Is it working?
It's working all right.
Absolutely.
I mean, even he once said that if he shot somebody on Fifth Avenue, his followers wouldn't blink. So he doesn't, you know, he just blithely goes around admitting that his fake news is fake news, basically.
Yeah. And
he says it outright. Megan, you were saying that it was off the record.
Well, this is my question. My antennas went up on this, actually. And the first thing I want to say is I like Leslie Stahl. She has a 45-year career on 60 Minutes. She actually came to my family's ranch in Sedona and did a whole interview with my dad. There were parts of it that were off the record. We hung out with her and her crew afterward. Off the record's off the record. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe it was on the record when she was with, quote, her boss and him, but I would assume they were maybe talking on background. So I have my issues with the way Trump treats the media, as everyone's well aware. But there's also on this end that, like, the breakdown of trust and the traditions of journalism are maybe going out the window. I don't know if it was on or off the record, but it sounds off the record.
The CBS spokesman said that the alleged conversation was semi-private.
But what does that mean?
And took place during an informal get-to-know-you meeting. So I don't know that is off the record.
So, but
if you know that you're
what?
meeting
Whether
with
it's
a
on or off,
journalist.
he said it, and now everybody knows he's admitting.
And you're right, and I will say that, but I will say, like, okay, so again, she actually came to our house when my father was first announced that he had cancer. She and her crew stayed with us. Again, I like her. She's a great career. But after she was done filming, we hung out with her crew off the record and spoke with them or whatever. Had any of the things been reported, I got, I'm not actually going to say what happened during that time.
But they were off the record, and she hasn't talked about it. So the fact that a journalist like that is speaking about it tells me that it must not have been an off-the-record conversation.
It just seems weird to me.
You also speak to
it is possible. You're exactly right. It is. I don't know.
Even if off the record is not said, you speak to the tradition of journalism. I think in this instance, with her vast career, when you hear something so shocking that it getting out is less shocking than the words coming out of his lips. Like, I think that's the part that's scary.
I do agree. I just think that the breakdown of trust is happening both places. Like, for me, it's like I can name, like, we talk about this on the show all the time. There are so many journalists out there that I still trust, still would have off-the-record conversations and believe that they would keep it off the record. You can also have conversations on background, which means that they won't print what you're saying either. You're just giving them information on background. And this breakdown of the traditions of journalism between the principal and journalists scares me. Because there has to be some trust.
We're in an emergency situation in this country right now. People need to understand that. And I'm glad that she spilled that beans on him. And he did not say, Leslie, this is off the record.
And that's the thing. I don't think it's off the record, but let's talk about what he said.
Let's not, because we're going to break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. 30-year-old, and I'm going to say it again, 30-year-old Michael Rotundo has been living in his parents' place for the past 8 years rent-free, and his folks sued to get his ass out the house, okay? But Michael made his case in court and on ABC News. Watch.
I'm not a burden to them in the home. They don't provide laundry or food. It's really a moot point for them to seek me to be ejected. You're going to make it so that these people can just throw me out instead of, letting me stay. Because I'm not bothering them living here.
Okay. So his parents won the case, but he's appealing it.
Well, they don't provide laundry, and they don't provide food. This is a crappy hotel, people.
But instead of a judge, why not just call a locksmith? I mean, wouldn't that be quicker? Just lock them out.
But who sits there at 30 and feels entitled to a home? Do you know how many people that don't have homes that would take his situation any day? Like, he thinks he can just squat. And
like his parents.
Yes,
they are his parents.
But he called them these people. No. He called them these people in that clip. And I think that goes towards his mindset. I mean, in most states, after 18, you're a legal adult. A parent doesn't have to provide for you.
He didn't get the memo, Sonny.
He obviously didn't, right? It's shocking. Who does
Oh my
that?
God, he has to do his own laundry and he has to buy his own food for himself?
That's a 30.
What kind of parents are they?
I mean, it's so wrong.
You know,
It does go to this like infantilization of like young millennial men that seem to have this complete and utter failure to launch. He's 30, he has a child, and he's like, these people, exactly, 30 with a child. And it's like, if you don't feel any motivation to go out in the world and get a job or insurance, which he said that's what his parents were trying to get him to do, it's like, grow up.
And his parents gave him really good advice. They said, there are jobs available even for those with a poor work history like you. Get one, you have to work. If you want help finding a place, your mother has offered to help you.
They gave him $1,000
Yes.
A stipend
to get him out. And he didn't have it, and they said, what did you do? And he's like, I spent it on things.
Yeah, I know.
What are things like video games? Like what? It's just, I don't know.
Dude, you're 30 years old.
Come on.
Okay? Your parents look tired.
Yeah.
You know, because I can't, and I say that with the utmost respect, but I don't think it's pleasing them to do this to you. I don't think it's pleasing them to have to put you out of the house that they worked their tails off to have and to provide for you at some point. But you don't get to stay forever and not work.
He says that they're mad, that the parents are mad at him because when he had this baby with this woman, which he now has lost custody of, that he did not allow them to visit to be with the child. And he says that that's why they're mad
But
at him.
they let him back in their house.
What kind of
That's his
parents
side
are
of the
these,
story. I'm
though?
just giving it.
I mean, my parents would never. I mean, when I was
These
18,
are people who want his ass out the house.
If I had a kid of that age, I think he needs a lot of therapy. Something's wrong with him. Maybe he's depressed.
But I'm nervous.
He needs work. He needs help.
They also said to him, sell the other things you have that have any significant value. This is especially true for any weapons you may have.
Oh my God.
So I'm a little concerned about this
there is
situation.
that issue.
I'm a little concerned about it.
Yeah, great. We'll be back.
Her White House Correspondents' Dinner roast outraged Republicans and Democrats, caused a media uproar, and had the president fuming. Michelle Wolf gives her first live interview right here, next.
It's just, I mean, at least
He's not a bad-looking guy.
No.
maybe. There's so much.
There's a lot.
There's so much
there.
hair.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I thought you were very funny. I thought you were hilarious. And people in the room, I called it brave, and people in the room were laughing as well. But Trump called it a total disaster. And even the Correspondents Association, which I was surprised at, sort of distanced themselves from your monologue. Your jokes about Sarah Huckabee, though, Sanders, seemed to cause the most controversy. I think we have a clip of that.
And of course, we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We are graced with Sarah's presence tonight. I have to say, I'm a little starstruck. I love you as Aunt Lydia on The Handmaid's Tale. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very resourceful. Like, she burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye.
I'm still laughing about it, but many interpreted those jokes to be jokes about her looks. What do you say about that?
I mean, the people that did, I just was like, oh, I thought you were smarter.
Yeah.
That's what you say to them?
Yeah, because it was like, it's like, just listen to the joke. It was clearly...
Well, if you know Handmaid's Tale, you know the reference.
The reference was to behavior.
Yeah, I think it said more about them. They were like, this is about our looks. And I'm like, no, I think you have something to say about her looks. I'm fine with how
the two guys whose looks you did talk about, I thought were very funny. They're not going to let me do the joke again, but it was one of my favorite jokes. But you talked about Mitch McConnell. I loved it. I really wanted, and Chris Christie. And so the question is, nobody, you mentioned, I mean, pretty much it was their looks. Nobody said a word. Why do you think how do you think they mixed it up?
I mean, if there's anything, the best part of the night, I think, was when I said something about Chris Christie, and then they went over to him, and he was like eating panna cotta out of a little jar, and I was like, yeah, I think he was kind of surprised they didn't go after his looks before that, because everyone else has always gone after Chris Christie, and I normally am like, don't, it's been done.
Right.
And then this one, I was like, I just snuck like a little one in, and I think he was like, finally.
Finally, I can finish
So I know you know this, but I actually said that I thought your stand-up routine was a gift to the Trump administration and that liberals were criticizing you as well. The association is now saying that it's considering having no comedians whatsoever in the future. How would you feel if you killed another comedian's job?
I mean, I don't care. It's not like a great job. I mean, I think everyone that's ever done it has been like, great, now I don't have to do it again. I don't think, I mean, the whole time I called it a homework assignment. But it being like a gift to Trump, I don't think it was a gift to Trump any more than every single news show, and I put that in quotes, news, is a gift to Trump.
Did you speak to Sarah Huckabee afterward? Did you have any awkward interactions?
I smiled at her and she looked away.
Okay.
You know, the first order of business is to laugh. When they make a joke about you, is to smile and laugh. It just dissipates all of the rage in the room. But not one of them did that.
Well, and I have to say the jokes you were an equal opportunity offender. You hit everyone. So that's when I think with comedy, that's when it's very fair. But your first HBO special, Nice Lady, came out last year. Where'd you get that title?
I talk about not being a nice lady a bunch in it. So I just called it Nice Lady.
Is that false advertising?
Yeah, just like that we shouldn't be nice ladies. We've spent enough time being nice ladies,
I like that.
Now it's not time to be nice ladies.
Or ladies.
Yeah. No.
And now you have a new show on Netflix called The Break with Michelle Wolf, making you one of only a handful of women to do in late night, actually, right now. Will it be political at all?
Yeah. No, it'll be, there'll be some, I mean, we're going to talk about everything that's going on, so there'll be some politics, but more in the way that I did at the Correspondents' Dinner, where I'm just going to make fun of people. I'm never going to do like a deep dive on net neutrality or anything like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're going to have to tune somewhere else for a thing on the TPP. But
What was interesting to me is it wasn't a Me Too moment, rather, but you had an awkward interaction with Harvey Weinstein in an elevator?
Oh, yeah, this was before any of the Harvey stuff came out. I did a charity show, and he was there, and after the show, we happened to be on the elevator together with him and two of his assistants who looked the most Hollywood. They were wearing velvet smoking slippers.
Oh,
yeah.
He wears those
They could give some tips to that 30-year-old. And we were on the way down. I told one Trump joke. This was over a year and a half ago. I told one Trump joke. I don't like telling Trump jokes. I'm so bored of them. And he on the elevator, he was like, "You should have done all Trump stuff." And I was like, oh, no, I didn't really want to. I don't really like telling Trump jokes. And he was like, well, you should have done it. We would have wanted Trump jokes. And I was like, well, I didn't want to do Trump jokes. And he's like, well, it's not about what you want.
He thinks he's talking to some of his victims.
Yeah, and I was like, I got off the elevator unscathed. And it just was one of those things.
That's insightful.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is just his personality.
That's who he is.
Yeah, he's just like, it doesn't matter what you want.
That's
Exactly.
right. What I tell you to do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this is what I want. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Listen, come hang out with us again.
I would love to.
Okay. Thanks to Michelle Wolf. The Break premieres on Netflix this Sunday. We will be right back. Check it out. I think you'll like it.
Next,
But I choose you every day from here on out. Becca, will you marry me?
Bachelor Nation was rocked last season by a shocking I do-over.
Lauren, will you marry me?
Up next, the most controversial couple in Bachelor history.
All right, this is the moment I've been waiting for a long time. Joy Behar, will you marry me?
Tomorrow on The View, the hot topics are on fire.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yes! Plus, anything goes. Because the one and only Snoop Dogg is coming to hang.
That sounds so fun.
Tomorrow on The View on ABC.
Looked like a happy ending for Arie and Becca, but then the trip down the aisle took a really sharp detour.
The more I hung out with you, the more I felt like I was losing the possibility of maybe reconciling things with Lauren.
Do you want to be back with her?
I want to see if there's that possibility.
Are you kidding me? Like, I feel like my future was ripped away.
Oh, and what happened next became the most infamous chapter in Bachelor history.
I came here today because I want a second chance. And I love you very much. And I want you back.
Oh, you got me. Duh.
Lauren, Elizabeth Burnham, will you marry me?
Definitely.
Now, The Bachelor's most controversial couple is heading to the altar and giving us all the exclusive details right here. Please welcome Arie and Lauren. Okay, welcome. That was some dramatic footage.
Yeah.
We've actually never seen that.
Well, the ending, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of know how it ends, though.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But so it's safe to say you guys started the relationship a little rocky. But what's happened since the camera stopped rolling?
Well, I moved to Scottsdale, and I'm living there. We're in our condo now, and we just bought a new house. So things are moving pretty quickly, and everything's just been great so far. Yeah.
Yeah, she moved to Arizona. We've been traveling a lot. I'm still racing as well as doing real estate. So we've been on the road. We went to Australia. We went to Iceland. We went to, we went all over. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, Arie, you did dump someone that you proposed to, and the backlash was really fierce. There were billboards that went viral, SNL spoofs. A local lawmaker tried to ban you from the entire state of Minnesota. So you all look very happy, but was it hard? Is it hard to be happy when really a lot of America was rooting against this relationship?
Yeah, I think, going back to that time, it was a big risk to do what I did, and I know that it wasn't a popular decision, but it was a decision I had to make for myself because, it is, at the end of the day, it's a TV show, but this is the rest of our lives, and I knew that Lauren was the person I was supposed to be with, so.
A lot of fans just didn't understand what we showed, the filming of the breakup. And I remember watching it, and it was really long, and she was like crying in the closet.
Yeah,
and
she was hysterical.
Did you ever think like maybe we should do this in 10 minutes and then get the cameras out of here? Why put her through this?
I think as a bachelor, you don't really know what's going to be shown, what's not going to be shown. And I think going into it, the biggest reason why I wanted it to be filmed was so that everyone could see the story, not only the good things, but also the bad things, just because the finale, there's always a lot of questions. I think when Jason Mesnick changed his mind, he's happily married, has kids, and he has a great life. They didn't film anything, and I think, fans were upset by that. So I really wanted everyone to see our love story, and I think the editing chose to show more of the breakup than the happy parts of that ending.
Sean Lowe, the former Bachelor, said that you crossed a line, though, and that you should have put your foot down when the cameras were rolling. Do you agree with him?
I mean, I never watched the finale, so we don't really know how that breakup looked on TV.
I did, it was awful.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Awful, and she got me to watch it.
But what?
It was awful.
Breakups are hard, and I think that everyone handles
And
it in a
breakups on
different way.
TV are really hard.
They're really hard. You put yourself open to that public scrutiny, and they say it was unedited, but it was edited. I mean, you're not in control of the editing room, and you can't really control what they show. So.
Well, we are going to get to some happy wedding stuff in a minute, but I do have a question, Lauren, for you. Did you know he was going to break up on that on camera?
I knew that he was going to break up with Becca, and I knew that production was involved. So yeah, I kind of figured that that's what was happening. But I mean, the whole thing was taped. My breakup was taped. Everyone else's was, and that's just kind of the name of the game. Yeah.
Well, Lauren, I think that most women out there are wondering, how do you trust the guy again? How do you trust him again? Don't you ever worry that maybe he's going to change his mind about you?
I don't, and I think a lot of people are surprised by that because he changed his mind with Becca. Why wouldn't he change his mind with me too? But our relationship is so unique, and it's nothing that I've ever had before, and I think it's the same for him too. So the fact that he was willing to take that risk and, I mean, chance all of America hating him to be with me, I think that means a lot to me.
Well, like I told you, there's some good stuff. You two have a big announcement. I think it's about the wedding, like some inside scoop. So tell us about it.
So we are very excited to tell you guys that we have booked a venue and we're getting married in Hawaii on January 12th next year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's in Maui. It's at Haiku Mill, which is this beautiful old world feel with a lot of vines and greenery, and it's not your typical beach wedding. It's so pretty, and it's a private wedding, so not on TV.
Oh, I was going to ask you, are you okay?
I wanted to know.
So not on TV. So just close group of friends, probably 100 guests. So
okay,
yeah.
Lauren, I got married pretty quickly. I got married in 3 months. You've only been engaged for 3 months. So are you rushing this, or do you think this is just the timeline you guys want?
I think if we were able to get married tomorrow, we would. And
oh, wow.
I mean, we're just very...
Well, I can tell you where City Hall is if you're interested.
We're just really happy with each other, and we vibe well together, and we're best friends, so we're just ready for that next step.
You know, Becca's new season of The Bachelorette premieres on Monday on ABC, and press is just starting to ramp up. So why announce now?
Honestly, I don't think we really had much control over that, so...
Yeah, I think our plan just kind of came together. So it just happens to be the timing of things. Yeah, but we're just excited. You know, we're excited to do it privately. We're excited to have...
To finally have privacy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool because everyone asks us. So we're like, why not just come on here and tell everybody, you know? So it's the perfect moment.
Because there are a lot of people cheering you on as well.
Yeah,
although we...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, when we go out in public, it's all positivity. And that's cool to see.
I will say, better to break up before the marriage when you know it isn't right.
Yeah. You know it's not right.
I see that, and I applaud you for that. It was just revealed that Becca has found love again on her season of The Bachelorette and is engaged. Have either of you spoken to her since this?
Maybe.
Since the show?
Maybe.
Oh, great.
Could you possibly be in the show?
You guys will just have to wait and see.
Watch and find out.
Oh,
wow, you were trained
that
well.
was a good one. That's a good tease.
But the dust is settled, and now we know where you are today. If you could go back, would you do anything different?
It's hard to live with that and live in regret. I think, because of how things ended, I think our relationship is stronger, and I wouldn't change it. We're happy, so.
Well, you're headed to Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations to both of you. Thanks to Arie and Lauren, and we will be right back. I love Hawaii.
The View would like to thank Apple and Eve for providing our entire studio audience with a bottle of their delicious juice.
Yeah. I mean, we were listening backstage to the Bachelor folks, and I just want to tell them to be aware that Hawaii's going through some big changes at the moment.
A man dodging lava balls was hit with one yesterday, and he thought it cauterized his wound. I'm sorry, I was texting it to everyone. Hit with a lava ball.
Yes. And the lava has met now the ocean water, and it's causing all kinds of stuff. So I know it sounds like it's not a very far away in January, but they don't know when this is going to stop. So you might have to rethink the whole wedding thing.
I know this sounds stupid, but isn't it the lava and the volcanoes that over the many, many millions of years of evolution that actually created the beauty of Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah.
It may have. It's not quite as beautiful at the moment when you see the lava kind of so it may turn into all kinds of stuff, but it's pretty spooky. I got to tell you, it's a lot going on. So we're sending you big hugs, and we want to say thank you all for watching, thank you all for coming, and we want you all to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy the view.